Hey everybody, this is Warren for AV Science. We have another video for you today. In this case, it's this really big box that just got dropped off from the delivery man. I can't wait to open it up because inside here is a SIM2 Lumis 3D Solo. So I'll open this up, I'll show you what's inside, we'll project it on the screen, take a look at some of the basic menus and functionality of this new projector. So what I have here, I've opened up the silver box that comes with the projector to show some of the accessories and manuals, some of the other items that come along with the projector itself. In the back we have the main install manual. That's the one that's got the blue border to it. And to the left of that is an offer to get a free replacement lamp. So when you do buy the Lumis Solo, you can actually get a replacement lamp voucher there included inside the box, which is it's a nice add-on. Then of course you have the remote control. And here I have two pair of the glasses. There are 4 pair of glasses that come with the 3D Solo, and each one has its own pouch. Just have 2 of them out here to show. The 2 smaller books there are the user guide for the projector and also a manual for the emitter and the glasses. So if you wanted to reprogram the glasses, if you wanted to see some of the operation of the glasses themselves, they have their own little manual. Then you have the actual IR transmitter here that gets plugged in directly on the projector. It can stay in the back by the projector and bounce off the screen. It doesn't need to be located in the front of the room. Then we have the actual calibration software here. The color calibration software is pretty interesting. It's designed for 2D and 3D calibration, so you're able to do a separate calibration on your projector for 3D content and for 2D content. Alright, so here we have the Lumis 3D Solo out of the box, and you can see it's got the beautiful curved design that SIM2 is famous for. This is the default gunmetal glossy gray finish. You could also buy it in red, black, or white to fit in with whatever color scheme is right for your theater. So we'll take a look at some of the design elements and the features of this projector, then we'll turn it on and check out what it looks like on screen. Small wrench is included. It comes with the projector, and you insert it here, and by rotating left and right, that's how you actually adjust the vertical shift of the image on screen. You're actually physically moving the equipment inside. So what I'm going to do now is actually put the wrench in and let you see what it looks like when you physically adjust this. So as you can see here on screen, it's actually bringing the entire mechanism up as I am rotating this. So you're not electrically adjusting anything, you're physically moving the elements. And this allows for the best possible image quality. So here I have one of the 4 pair of 3D glasses that come with the projector. It has the sensor in the center of the glasses here, that's where it picks up the signal. It has the logo on either side. Now these glasses use a replaceable battery, so you're not plugging these in with a USB or anything like that. Let's see if I can open that up. So here we have the battery. Not sure how well this will show up on screen. There you can see where the battery goes inside, and it just has the little door that'll cover that up when it goes back in. On the bottom here, this is the actual small button right here, if that's visible. I'll try to catch it in the light. That turns the glasses on and off, and also is how you program the glasses for different displays and different settings. Alright, here we have the back of the Lumis 3D Solo, and looking at the connections we have here, first you see on the top left of the image are 2 HDMI connections, independent HDMI connections. After that you have the standard component inputs, and then what looks like an S-video is now actually used for connecting the 3D IR transmitter. So you wouldn't plug in a regular S-video connection there anymore, you'd use that to synchronize your glasses to the projector. Then we have a composite video input, and following that on the back it says graphics RGB, so if you wanted to connect a computer, for example, it could go there. Then you have a USB connection and RS-232 inputs. Coming back to the left, underneath the HDMI connections, you have 3 independent 12-volt trigger outputs. So if you wanted to have motorized curtains or motorized masking systems, you have your independent outputs there. Then you have the power buttons and cycling through the different menu buttons on the back of the unit itself. And over on the right side is, of course, where you plug in the power and actually physically turn the power switch on. So what's on screen right now is a pause from the Spears & Munsell Blu-ray calibration disc. Now I have this on just so we have an image in the background as I'm showing you the menu settings and make some configuration changes. So there's actually a picture on screen so we can see what some of those changes would look like. So I'll bring up the basic menu here, and I'm not going to go through every setting. Some of them are pretty straightforward, like brightness and contrast and so on. What I'd like to do specifically, we'll go over to the image tab here. And the first option that we have is for our aspect setting. Now I have a few unique choices with the SIM2. So if I pull up the options here, you'll see that we could define pixel to pixel, panoramic, anamorphic, and so on. So it actually can stretch the aspect ratio to almost anything that you need under one of these presets. But if there isn't something specifically working for you, then you can have your own aspect ratio defined on user 1, user 2, and user 3. One interesting aspect ratio to point out is subtitle pulls the image up a little bit so that there's room for subtitles to actually fit on screen. I'm going to go ahead and minimize the aspect ratio menu here. The next one down is in color management, and there's extensive color management options with this projector. So if we bring up the color management menu, you can see we define our primary point and then we can define the white point specifically. So what I'll do is I'll go over to the white point and then go up and down through these settings so you can see what they look like on screen. So as you can see right now, D65 is selected. I'll go down first since there's just a few choices here. So if we go down to D50, and you should be able to see this through the video, even though we're on YouTube here, you should be able to pick this out. So going down to D50, then we have C, and of course there's user configurations. And in the user configurations you can customize this to your exact situation, to your room, to your screen, to the brightness level of your room, your wall color, ceiling color, and so on. So of course you could define your color management as accurately as you need to for your room. But we'll go back up and look at the presets here again. So we have C, D50, D65, D75, native, low, medium, high, and standard. So even though this is being shown through YouTube again, you should be able to pick up the color differences there as we scroll back down. So I'm going to bring that back down to D65. Alright, so we go to the next level down, and that's in our gamma correction. So if I bring up the submenu for gamma correction, you see right now it has 2D. That's because it's detected that there's a 2D source plane. So we have natural mode, dynamic mode, and then you have the parametric mode where you could define the scale, slide it up and down as you could see here. Then you have the lamp power option. So since it detected a 2D source, it has the lamp power down low at 230. Then in the next menu option you have setup. This is where you define if it's floor or ceiling mounted, if you're going to use keystone. So you could go into the source list if you wanted to, and inside the source list you could turn on and off whichever particular inputs you're using, so you don't have to worry about cycling through them or any configurations or settings for them. If you wanted to rename any one of them, you could pull up the option and go ahead and type in whatever name you wanted to give that input. So that's the basic menu setting here. And then we'll take a look at some 3D content. Now, one thing that's interesting with this projector, it does auto sense if you have 2D or 3D content playing. So if it does detect that you have 3D content playing, it gives you the pop-up that you saw on screen there to go ahead and put your 3D glasses on. So what we have here is a scene we like to use for demonstrating 3D material. It's the animated feature Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. This particular scene is bright, has some nice colors to check out and see how 3D works. Before showing the glasses, I wanted to take a quick look at the menu settings here. So the projector has now detected that there's a 3D content being played. If I bring up the menu here, you could see that now on the image screen, the gamma correction has gone to 3D natural instead of 2D. We have the same choices as we did with the 2D material, meaning 3D natural, 3D dynamic, and again parametric, where you could slide the scale to what suits you for your room. So I'm going to leave this on 3D natural, just like with the 2D content, we left it on the natural setting. And then also notice that the lamp power has defaulted to the highest setting instead of the lowest setting. So those are some differences that automatically occur inside the projector when it detects that you're playing a 3D source instead of a 2D source. Earlier I mentioned the defined aspect ratios and the user settings that you have for defining your own aspect ratios. Here I'll just show you what some of those look like. In this case we have a CinemaScope image projected on screen. So I'll cycle through some of the settings here. So the way that I have it set up right now is pixel to pixel mapping, and that's the way I'll leave it as I'm showing the different material, but right now we'll just look at the aspect ratios. We have normal, and if you're noticing the image kind of sliding back and forth, that's the 3D content and the fact that I have it paused on screen right now, so it's just associating to that. This is the anamorphic setting, so if you would have an anamorphic lens, you'd be using this setting most likely. Letterbox is actually moving it up and down since this is a CinemaScope content. And subtitle, you'll notice, shifted the image up just a little bit so that the subtitles, if there were any, would be visible on screen. And then back to the pixel-pixel mapping, which is what I use here. Alright, so what we have on screen right now is a little bit farther along in the movie of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I'd like to use this as one of the pieces for demonstrating material, this case being an animated film. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the 3D glasses over in front of the camera lens so you can see through the camera as to what this looks like. So it gives you an idea of, with an animated film, any change in color or the change in brightness level. This is being projected onto a white screen, by the way. It's an acoustically transparent white screen. So that gives you an idea of colors and brightness through the 3D glasses watching an animated film. So what I have on screen right now is a pause from the IMAX Blu-ray Under the Sea. It's got some wonderful colors. It's underwater, so it's a little bit more subdued than a bright animated scene, but we'll just bring the glasses in front of the camera here again. So that gives you an idea of any change in color, any clarity difference, any brightness difference. Again, it's just to let you see what it looks like through the glasses. If there is any flicker visible here, that's only because we have multiple systems going on here, including the camera, which does not work at the exact same refresh rate as the glasses and the projector themselves. When you're watching this image, it's great. It's crystal clear. There's definitely no problem with flashing on screen. You have no ghosting, you have no flickering. None of those artifacts are visible at all when you're watching through these glasses. So for the last example on screen of 3D content, I wanted to use something from a live action film. This is the most current Resident Evil that was shot in 3D. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the glasses over in front of the camera so you can look through here. And again, you can look and see any change in color or brightness through the glasses. And again, the SIM projector here, the SIM2 projector, it defaults to the highest lamp power, so it defaults to full 280 on the lamp power versus 230 in the 2D content. So that gives you an example of a live action film through the glasses.